Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, 3 archetypes are getting insane support from the new set, Darkwing Blast in the OCG. First of all, we have some Splight support. I actually already recorded a video where I hadn't read these effects, and I lost my mind because they're insane. So we're going to go to these last, but Tri-Brigade is also getting new support, as well as Springins. And Adventure, the Adventure engine, aka the Brave engine, or Brave Token engine, is also getting support. So let's talk about the Adventure stuff first, because I find it to be the most interesting, and I really like it. So, this is a level 4 Earth Fairy effect monster with 1000, and it has a mutual once per turn effect on both of its effects. Hard once per turn on both of its effects. Yeah, you can only use the first and second effect of this card once per turn, each. Anyway, if you control an adventurer token, special this card from the hand. Pretty simple. I think Water Enchantress also has that effect, so it's not that unique. But the second effect is you can reveal a card that mentions adventurer token in your hand, add a non-normal spell that mentions adventurer token from your deck to your hand. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect except adventurer token and monsters that mention it. So this does quite a few things. First of all, if you want to gain the advantage, which is actually pretty good, from this card by revealing a adventurer token in the hand, or a card that mentions the adventurer token, to add that non-normal spell, you can do that, but you are locked into special summoning only those specific monsters, which means I don't know if they have an extra deck monster. I'm not entirely sure. We might see an extra deck monster come in the future, but at the moment we don't have anything, so you're just kind of like summoning this guy and then doing nothing with him, but there's that. But at the very least, this stops you from just, like, searching out something that gets you the token, and then you can just special the token, and then you're off to the races with the Adventure engine. Now you actually are locked into just the Adventure stuff, which I do like. I think that this is a good change for the Adventure engine, and kind of pulls it away from being an engine and more of an archetype, which is nice. And with the second card, it makes it even more of that. It's an archetype that is locked into its archetype, which is a little bit better, seeing as how good the Adventure engine was as, of course, an engine. So, you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn, and during your main phase, you can special summon an Adventure token. It's a 2000 level 4 Fairy Earth monster to either field, then send a card from your hand to the graveyard, then target a special summon. You cannot special summon monsters the rest of this turn, except for adventure token and monsters that mention it. So yeah, this is just another way to grab an adventure token. Also, you can technically put a monster on your opponent's side of the field if you already have access to that token, which at the moment you only have, I think in the OCG, Rite of Aramesir is limited to 1 along with the Water Enchantress. So there's that. But this is at least another way to get to the token, which is nice. And you could special summon something to your opponent's side of the field. However, the second effect is also pretty nice. If a monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you get to special summon another token to either field. So this just allows you that recursion if you need it, to constantly get that token onto the field. And with this guy being able to search out the Aramesir, it allows you to just constantly have that adventure token up and constantly be recycling that or those effects, right? The effect of this guy to special summon, the effect of the Griffin Rider to yada yada, the Draco back, etc., etc. Moving on to the Tri-Brigade stuff. This stuff I actually haven't read. I've read all the other stuff, but I haven't read this stuff. So we're here together. I do know that this card is specifically a like Fallen of Alba's Springin stuff. So you can only use the third effect of this card's name once per turn. This card's name becomes Great Sea Gold Gongolda, or Great Sand Sea Gold Golgonda, while on the field or in the graveyard. That's actually really good for Springins, just giving them access to another copy of the Gold Golgonda is very, very nice and very important for the deck. So it's nice. I think Springins need quite a bit more, but that's nice. Once per turn, if a card you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send a fusion monster that mentions Fallen of Albaz as material from your extra deck to the graveyard instead. Interesting. This is actually pretty decent because it allows you to keep your materials on your cards if you need to. And it's just like additional protection while also grabbing up Fallen Volba stuff. So it's kind of good, but I mean, Spring-ins are meh. During each end phase, if you have a Fallen Volbaz on your field or in your graveyard, you can special summon a Spring-in monster from your hand or deck. So again, as a Spring-in card specifically, this is nice. It's not really going to do anything for the Fallen Volbaz, but yeah, that's basically it. I don't know if there's a Spring-in card. I think there's like Kit Spring-in, the Spring-in Kit or something like that. It's one of the kits. That's not Tri-Brigade. That I think is a Spring-in. So that card's nice. And since this does special summon from deck, that's also very good. I could maybe see it being played in a branded deck, but I don't really see it being too useful. Bringing out Kit is nice, again, but it is during the end phase, so you can't really like use it as material. You just be like the on-field effect, which I mean, plus it does require the Fallen of Albaz to be in your field or in your graveyard, which means if you go for like branded fusion, bring out Lubellion pitch to shuffle back, and you shuffle back the Fallen of Albaz, which is pretty common, and you don't have another one already in your grave, this card basically doesn't do anything other than add protection, which you don't really need, if that makes sense. So it's good. It's not great, but it's good. And moving on, this one is the Tri-Brigade card. Continuous spell card. Again, you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. 1. If a beast warrior, or winged beast monster is special summoned to your field, you can target one of your banished Tri-Brigade monsters, add it to your hand. Okay, that's crazy. If a Tri-Brigade monster battles an opponent's monster, after your damage calculation, you can return that opponent's monster to the hand. That's actually really good. Here's why it's really good. You can search this off of a Bear Brum, which means you have access to it. It's another search that you can have, but, I mean, with Revolt not being searched, it may be a little bit more inconsistent. It's kind of a win more card. Maybe not a win more, but it's like, it adds that extra recursion off of off of this effect, being able to add one of your banished Tri-Brigades. So it's basically like, if you go and actually finish a link summon, or not a link summon, but a special summon of one of your link monsters with the banished material, you're able to add back one of the monsters, which is very, very good. That means you can basically expend most of your hand trying to get one monster onto the field. You can go into a Ferrigite, and then when you do that, you can add back something like a Nerval or a Kit or whatever it may be, and then special summon it with the Ferrigite, and then you can banish more for more plays, which is very nice. I think this card, it will definitely see play, but I don't know if it will see play at like 3 or at 2 or at 1 or what all is there. It seems not necessary, but still very strong. And the second effect is also very nice. So you could just like walk in with a Nerval to deal with like an opponent's monster that's really annoying. Since it doesn't target and it is happening during damage calc or after damage calc, it's very hard to respond to that. So that's very nice. And that's it for that one. And let's talk about the Splight cards. So if you don't know what Splites do, they are a rank 2, rank 2, and level 2 deck that, well, they just do everything. They focus on making Xyz and Link 2s, and going off to the races from there. But let's just read this. So it's a Link 2 Fire Thunder effect monster with 1400 attack and 2 Link arrows that are bottom left and top right, as you can see right there. And this just requires 2 monsters, including a level Link or rank 2 monster, and you can only use one of the first and second effect of this card's name per turn, and only once that turn. So they are mutually exclusive, meaning if you use one, you can't use the other. And it cannot be used as link material the turn it is link summoned. However, I don't think that will come up all that often. If this card is link summoned, you can send one level 2 monster from your deck to the grave. So this is already insane because it just says any level 2 monster. Meaning, you could send something like a Toad to the grave, or, a Ronin Toadin, or a Swap Frog, or something like that. And if you have Splight Elf, the Elf can bring it back. So, as long as you can get into a Splight Elf and this guy, which is not hard to do in that deck, you gain an extra material, basically for free, of any level 2 that you want. Also, if another monster... this is on the next turn, basically. If another monster is special summoned while this card is on the field, you can detach a material, an XZ material, from a monster, and then target a monster on the field, return it to the hand. So, this one is also absolutely crazy because of that previously mentioned effect that I talked about with Splight Elf. You make Splight Elf, right? This is a quick effect during the main phase. You get a special summon it back, one of your level rank or link 2 monsters, I think. And you can special summon it wherever. So, with that, as long as you... if another monster is special summoned, you get a detach an XZ material and target a card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. You could even return one of your monsters to the hand if you need it. Like, for example, if you went and activated Maxi, and then it got Ash Blossomed, and then you special it back, and now you can return it to the hand, and you can drop that Maxi once again. So, yeah, Splites are... This makes the deck even stronger, as if a tier 0 deck needed to be any stronger. And you will oftentimes end on an XZ monster as well, with the Gigantic Splight. So... yeah. Also, the stipulation for this doesn't matter as much as you would think, because most of the time, since it's a Link 2 deck, Link 2 focus deck, you just make IP Masquerena, and then you can link off during your opponent's turn to go into something. And moving on, we have Splight Double Cross. So this card is another card to basically search off of your jet that gives you disruption during your opponent's turn without costing your own board materials. So, you can only activate one of this card's name per turn. Target a monster on the field, and then activate one of these effects. Attach it to your rank 2 monster as material. Just any monster on the field, by the way. Attach it to a monster as material. If your opponent controls it, you can place it in your zone your link 2 monster points to and take control of it. So again, if you have something like a Splight Elf, and you activate this effect, you can steal a monster and just place it in a zone. And Splight Elf protects from targeting. Now, this also doesn't negate the effect of the monster. So, let's say they activate something like or they have like a Baron on your side of the field. If you're able to get that negate out, you activate this effect, you steal the monster, and now it's on your side of the field, and now you can use it to potentially pop a card. You can use it as like link material. Literally any card. Just as long as it can be targeted, there you go. Also, if it's in the graveyard, you can special summon it to a zone your link 2 monster points to. So, you can special summon back something like a red, which is a monster negate, and you can special it back, and then you can negate another effect. Granted, red has a hard once per turn, but you can still negate something. So, all of these are really good. And because this is a Splight card, you can search it off of Jet, which means it's extra disruption for the deck. All in all, absolutely crazy cards for Splites. I still don't think they're better than Terror Elements with this support, because Terror Elements are absolutely crazy, but this definitely puts them up there, and unless there's another ban list, this is crazy. I don't really know what else to say. It's kind of a 2-deck format at this point. So, those are the cards, and that's basically all I wanted to say. It's just like, holy crap, why are we getting more support for these decks that already have insane support? So that's going to be it for this episode. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, a like is very much appreciated, and if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.